Moment of silence for the people in Houston and in Florida for all the loss of life. Okay, thank you. Good evening, everyone. Okay, I know. Wow.
One person who doesn't have to be, right?
Yeah, you're right, you are. All right, the first thing, we have the public hearing, local law number 217-3 and 217-4. Freddie, would you read the notice, please, if you can read it?
Notice of public hearing. Notice is hereby given that a public hearing will be held by the Board of Trustees of the Village of Walton, Delaware County, New York, at the Village Hall, 21 North Street, on the 11th day of September, at 6 p.m. to hear public opinion on local law 2017-3, a local law to amend Chapter 5111, Section 2, water charges, and local law 2017-4, Chapter 4155, sewer capital charges. All interested parties and citizens will be heard who are for or against this amendment.
Okay.
Make a motion to open the public hearing.
Need a second, open it?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We'll go to the public first. Do you want to say anything, or you want to hear what it's about?
No.
Yeah, okay. You want me to say it, or you want to explain it?
You're good.
Okay, thank you. What we're doing in the water charges, we're raising it 65 cents. So instead of 41, it'll be 41.65 a quarter. And as far as the sewer capital charge, we're raising it $2.95. So it'll now, instead of 12, it'll be 14.95. And regarding the capital charge in the sewer, we are doing that for a number of reasons. Besides the money we owe, Kraft, because they had made an agreement back in the 90s to pay part of the upgrade, gradually they're paying off their portion of it, and they're paying less each month, and some of the usage has gone down. So we have been using all our reserve fund in the last 6 months, so we're down to very little in the reserve. And part of that, this money also goes into our reserve to help us be more fiscally responsible and have money in our reserves in case anything happens. So that's part of why we're doing what we're doing. So if we have no comments, then I need the motion to close.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
George, do you need separate motions for both laws?
No, you can put them in one.
I'll make a motion, we pass both laws as presented.
Need a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you. Okay, Bill Brown, will you come up
Want to do
first?
the abstracts?
Oh, abstracts, I'm sorry. Just 1 second. I need the abstracts, you've all got them?
Yep.
Since last week and had a chance to look at them and ask any questions. If no other questions, I need a motion to pass.
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, now, Bill, sorry. Thank you, Teresa.
Good everybody.
Project loudly, please.
Most of the stuff on our agenda we've talked about over the last couple of months. The grit screw is going to be an upcoming project that Senator Bonasek has assisted in providing funding for through the SAM program. The C-Bud project, air compressor project, is something that was done under last year's budget. The new compressors are up and running. The village board authorized some additional work to be done at last month's meeting, and that's parts are ordered, and they're supposed to be starting tomorrow actually to repair the valve, and there's some piping that are going to be repaired. That's being paid for under the New York City side of the budget as it's part of the C-Bud building. The influent pumps are a project. We would like to get a spare influent pump when we probably when we do the grit screw. We've reached out to New York City to try to get them to subsidize the funding on it. We're waiting for some response there, but that's an important piece of equipment to have a backup for. The only thing we're asking for tonight is to do some lighting work in the Seabud building as well. There's a number of fixtures that aren't working down there anymore. We budgeted monies this year to go towards electrical and lighting repairs in that building. Jason reached out to a couple of contractors, and I did as well, and we got a quote back from Taggart Electric out of Sydney Center to do replacement of, I think it's 14 fixtures in the Seabud building, and they're up pretty tall, so we're going to look to put in LED fixtures, which use less electricity, and there's NYSEG rebates available to subsidize some of the cost of the parts and pieces, so.
You change the whole fixture, do you?
Yep. They're changing the fixtures, they're changing some of the light switches out as well. Some of the fixtures are a lower voltage.
Nice they came down and took a look, right? The guy, did he come down and take a look over there?
They did for the sludge build. They come down at the end.
Yeah.
When we did the sludge building, we put new lights in there, and I think the total cost was $10,000 for labor and parts and everything. And NYSEG gave a rebate of, I think, $1,500 or $1,800, something along those lines.
Whatever it is better
After
for
the
us.
fact,
Yeah.
so.
Okay.
That should be still available. So we would request that the village board authorize the clerk to issue a purchase order to Taggart Electric for $24,000, and that's based on the proposal they gave us that's attached.
I'll make that motion.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That carried.
That's the only thing I had to ask for. We've got a couple of applications in under the New York Water Grant Program and also the SAM Grant Program again for Shepherd Street. So,
Okay.
that's all we have.
Thank
All
you,
right,
Bill.
thank you, Bill.
Thank you.
Jason?
You look different.
Do I? Any questions on the report? Okay, we'll get right into it here. We did have an effluent turbidity violation last month, sent it out to DEC, everything's going smooth there with them.
Question on that. Now, when you notified the DEC, what would did they come back? Can we get,
It depends on,
if we're constant
if
violators?
it's a constant violation, yes, it can be a, when we were in turmoil here a year ago, that's where the big push came from, and everything's been running very well, and we attached to those non-compliances what the issue was, what we feel caused it, and what we're doing to correct it, and we've heard nothing back from DEC, just okay,
Okay, good,
you're
okay.
good to go, so I don't expect anything there.
Okay.
We do have some requests this month. We have a cross conveyor belt replacement. It's on our belt press cross conveyor. The seam is actually pulling apart on that and it needs to be replaced. It's a glued seam. We request the board authorize belt maintenance to replace that cross conveyor at a cost of $2,050. We'll take that right out of our plant equipment fund. That's an 80% village, 20% New York City expense.
Motion.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
The second item is a sludge pump for the MBT. It feeds out of the sludge holding tank to the MBT. The one we have in there now is losing its ability to pump at its rate. And we request a new pump from A-Team Pump and Control Services, LLC, for a cost of $3,188.25. Then we're going to look into possibly rebuilding the old one and having a spare. That is also slated to come out of the plant equipment fund, 80% village, 20% New York City expense.
Need a motion for that as well.
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
We're looking to get a new computer for our SCADA system. This will be a backup computer. It'll have all of our SCADA stuff on it so we can log in and the control company can log in and take care of it. Right now we only have one, and if that computer goes down, we're in quite a bad spot. So that's 100% New York City cost. And that will come, that's $3,900, I think, is what your report says. I forgot to put it in mine.
Yeah. Okay, need a motion on
I'll
that.
make that motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Last but
Chad,
certainly
Chad,
not
one
least.
question.
Yes.
Is that, as far as electricity to supply the computers, is there then a backup generator? Say the village goes down
We have a
with
backup.
electrical
Yeah.
issue of any sort, they're on a backup
Yeah,
generator?
all those computers are plugged into battery backups, so they don't lose, and they don't ever shut off.
Okay.
And then it's like a 30-second delay, and then the
Kicks in.
generator comes on, and then same thing when we shut the generator off, that battery backup catches it before it gets back to NICEAG, so.
So as far as the computer's concerned, it's seamless?
Yep.
As far as the electrical flow?
Yep, exactly. So actually, our SCADA computer down back with all the alarms on it, it calls you when the power goes out. It knows the power's out because it never shut off. It sensed that there was there was something
Shift.
wrong, and it'll call. So we can log right in and see what's going on with it. And
Okay.
biggest thing there is we just have to check and make sure those batteries are in good shape. Otherwise, the battery's dying, the battery backup.
Thanks.
Okay.
Last but not least, we budgeted for sand replacement, another one of the Seabud sand filters down in the Seabud building. We have our quote back, they're ready to get rolling on that. Jody does have the money for it from the city. Looking to get the okay to move ahead. It's $88,740, and that is 100% New York City.
I'm glad the city's paying for that. Yeah.
Me too.
Can you say that louder?
Yeah, New York, all New York City.
Need a motion for that?
I'll make the motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I like spending other people's money.
She always smiles when I spend the city. That's all I have.
Thank you, Jason.
Thanks, Jason.
Thanks.
Chief?
Don't get carried away.
I love going behind him. I don't think I can ask for anything that even comes close. An airplane, maybe, you know. Everyone has-
Seaplane, we'll call it a river plane. We
There
can
you
do
go,
that.
maybe DEP will pay for that. Everybody's got a report, I hope. I
Yes,
think
we
they're
do.
all emailed. Rich has gotten pretty good at that.
I don't think I got it.
Really? I will give you one and make it a point that he check up on emails, etc.
Yeah, because I
Well,
don't think
hold
I
on,
got
we'll
it
do it.
either.
I don't either.
Holy cow.
It's all right.
I did.
You can forward.
Sure.
Well,
Just give it to Teresa.
you know who to take care of, that's all.
Remind Ed you're the deputy mayor.
We do know who to take care of. One of the first things is, I think I'd like to introduce, I think everybody's met him, but introduce Josh Williamson back there. He's our newest part-time patrolman.
Welcome.
He's coming to us pretty highly recommended with some pretty good, really good credentials, and he's got some experience, and look forward to working with him.
He's got to be good. He's a Marine.
He's a Marine, and if you don't believe he's a Marine, look at him. He is a Marine. So Josh will be a new face around town for a while, but be a great addition.
Yes.
Thank you guys
Welcome.
for hiring me, I appreciate it.
Yeah, welcome aboard.
Thank you.
With that being said, the Durango is in service, started the day of the fair, and
Right.
the guys
Nice,
absolutely love it. They can get in and out without smashing their head.
So somebody asked Brian, how do you like it? And he said, it fits.
Yeah,
Somebody who's
That's
over
nice.
6 foot can appreciate that.
yeah, that was it.
And the back seat, you can actually put somebody in the back seat without squashing them in like a,
Yeah.
which sometimes we don't mind doing with, but
I got a ride.
Yes. We made it through fair, minimal problems. I think it actually, unexpectedly, we ended up using one shift of overtime for the entire fair.
that's good.
That worked out really well. One of the issues that comes up every year at this time is parking with Townsend School.
Yep.
Brian is down there every morning, or tries to be. The last couple, he hasn't been able to make it. There's only been a week of school, but provided that he's not tied up on something, he makes it a point to go down there. As much for the parking, not just the parking, but to interact with the kids, because they love him. He's like their grandfather, I swear. They all come running up to him, hugging. I don't know why anybody would hug somebody like that.
What kind of reaction is he getting when he approaches people?
That's good. They just, our biggest, the mayor and I spoke about, the biggest issue is the parents with brand new kindergartners who've never done it before.
Yeah.
And they don't understand the difference between, you can stand here and let your kid get out and run to the steps, but you can't get out.
Right.
And that's just a safety thing. So he did, he's scorned a couple people and issued a couple courtesy tickets, but other than that, it's been good.
Good.
So,
Yeah, I hadn't really been hearing anybody complain, so I think it's been knock wood.
Yep,
Been
and if it
pretty good
is,
so far.
if it is, we'll bring in one of our
Okay.
part-time guys
Okay.
and help. The only other thing I have is I have an intern that is in the beginning of starting, coming out of SUNY Delhi. He's completed all the paperwork, all the requirements, all the waivers. We have the insurance through SUNY. So he's ready to go. It's Josh Knapp, who's actually a village resident, which is kind of cool. So he would be starting here right soon.
And what exactly will he be assisting with? Not really assisting,
Right.
observing.
What we've done, we've really, and we got complimented pretty highly from SUNY Delhi on this, the professor up there. We run the interns through a watered-down version of what we run our field training officers. Our field training officers run our new cadets through, our new officers. And they experience a lot. Our last guy went out of there and went back to SUNY and just said, holy cow. He could not believe what he experienced in the time.
They actually go on patrol and they see
Yep.
what's going on.
Yep.
It's good for the other kids, the other students to hear it when he gets back.
Oh, yeah.
It just sort of spreads.
Yeah,
Hopefully he'll tell the people that come to the party.
we could sure use that help. Well, he was actually from that frat.
Ah,
So we had an in last year. This year we don't have an in. So anyway, Josh has completed all of his paperwork and we'd like to get him going. He's I think it's 120 hours he has to do. And he's
Need a
pretty-
motion from us, right?
yes?
Yes,
Jody?
Jody? Yep. Need
Make
a
a motion.
Second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carry.
That's it.
When somebody goes through the Delhi program, they graduate. Are they ready to go, or do they still need to go to the school at 6 weeks, all that stuff?
Well, there's a couple different ways that works nowadays. One is when they go through the criminal justice program, they still are, well, it makes them eligible to take a lot more types of police tests. For instance, the state police, it's a 60 college credit type thing. Believe it or not, Delaware County, New York has probably the most stringent requirements just to test for a law enforcement officer there is in the state. I would put it up against anyone in the state.
Well, you had said a year ago, so probably more than 2 years plus, but that the county sheriff's department is not the department of old, that it's
No.
really sort of,
Yeah, it's definitely morphed a lot.
you know.
It's turned into quite an agency, it really has. So, it helps them out considerably. They still have to go through the civil service, all the requirements, all the testing, et cetera. But it definitely gives them a hand up.
I would think, for sure.
Yep.
So
And,
when is this starting?
I think he would be starting, Jody, I'm not sure of the exact date. It would be this week.
Okay.
It would be this week because he needs to kind of expedite his, he wants to be done by December.
And how long is the program?
I believe it's 120 hours.
Okay.
And like I said, the insurances are all in place. Same thing as when we ran the last kid through. So,
Did you ever have anybody change their mind? You haven't done it in a long time, but have you had anybody change their mind after going through it?
believe it or not, we had a high school intern that changed his mind, said he would never do this job.
Really?
Yeah, he had a bad day. He had 2 suicides in one day to go to. So, and obviously he wasn't exposed completely, but just saw the traumatic effects of the family, and he just didn't want to do it.
Well, good news, bad news. I mean,
Yeah.
you know,
Yep.
wow.
So,
Trial by fire.
yeah, well, you come to Walton, it's, right, Josh? Trial by fire when you come to Walton? That's it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Paul. Well,
Thank you, Josh. Welcome again.
Chief, you're staying for executive session, Chief? You're
Yes,
staying-
ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, next section is public input. If anyone has anything to say, I have an answer for you. You had a question last month.
Yeah,
You asked about the
the MBT.
MBT project. I get those acronyms MBT. For some reason, I want to say BLT.
We're hungry.
Yeah.
slightly, don't get the
So,
twist.
no.
You're gonna get some Pavlovian response. Keep that up.
MBT.
6 o'clock.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
My
right.
family eat as I was walking out.
All right, so I looked into it, I researched it for you,
Okay.
and here's where the money came from. First of all, Cedarwood got rid of one person, $45,000 right off the bat. They did that already, right from the beginning, because they were gonna save money with this program and the controls and everything. The next thing, let me back up a little. The project was up and running, didn't get up and running until February of this year. So we based it on savings on a year, so February of next year, so just so you know. 45,000, but we started saving the 45,000 right from the beginning. The Seabud fans, they have 2 big fans over there. we're supposed to save, I don't know, 30,000 or better on that a year. And then screw press. That we're going to be using that less also, and we should be saving another 30 on that. So that's where our 100,000 comes from.
And I know a portion of that, New York City versus Walton, and it was cut up differently, so,
Yeah.
no,
And the MBT project, I don't know if anybody's explained, what the MBT project basically does, and Jason, you can clarify with me, it makes the sludge thicker, so that when it goes to the screw press, they can get, and we have been, right, Jason, we've been cutting down a lot going to the landfill, right? We're doing a lot better. I've seen the new skid steer, boy, it makes it really light, and when you make it thicker, it makes it easier to get all the water out of it.
Right.
So that's the answer to your question from last time. Now, you got the floor if you need.
only because somebody asked me and I didn't have the answer, because I don't have them all. But no, they said that they were under the impression that less production at Kraft translated to lower costs for the water district users. That was their opinion, and my understanding would be, again, I didn't have the answer, but my thought would be that because we plan for them to have the same amount of production, we buy the bigger pumps. I mean, the Jason was just talking about the sludge pump. We plan for them to be at capacity. So they're running the same horsepower, maybe for less time, but the cost would be generally the same despite their cut in production, correct?
Yes, and part of my, and I have to say me too, I misunderstood a little bit. I think I put more of it on that Kraft had cut back on their production, most of it, and it wasn't, it was partial. The big thing that we got less from Kraft was their portion of the upgrade that happened in the 90s. They agreed to pay so much portion of it. Their part is just about being paid off, so they're gonna be cutting back. So part of that, the reason we're getting less is because of that as well.
Okay.
But they have been cutting back a little bit in production, but still we have to maintain it.
Right. And when we're doing some of these upgrades, I know they've been reluctant to commit to much. But when we're doing long-range planning and buying things, infrastructure-based equipment, can we get anything out of them? Because we could be kind of oversizing our wastewater treatment plant to a cost to ratepayers, and they're the ones deriving the benefit from it. So from a long-range planning standpoint, it might be, again, I know that.
I'm, as you know, with the digester, we had a lot of issues with them.
Yeah.
And now the gloves are off.
Right.
And my feeling is they got to pony up. If they're going to stay here, they're going to be part of it, they got to pony up. And we're going to go back. I'll sit down with Jason, I'll sit down with, the other guy.
Just to open a dialogue, because clearly
Dave Ullman and
we're
have
doing
it-
a lot for them.
Right.
And we don't need as big a pump as we would if they weren't here. So, and certainly we don't want to push them out. It's a tightrope. You're like Nick Walenda, I get it.
Right.
But, it's certainly something to
But
think.
I will talk to them.
Okay. Yeah, that was.
Is that it?
One more thing with the MBT, with the financing for that, I know a portion was from the city, and I believe the city pays because Kraft's here. I think that was a 20-year financing project.
Was it Jody? You know, Jody, no, she doesn't
I
know.
don't remember
I
if
think
it was 20 or
I think it was 20.
So if Kraft leaves before that's paid, will the city continue to pay their portion of the debt service from when that project was taken on?
Yes.
or
Yes,
they will?
definitely will,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, good. All right, now I'm done.
Okay.
Yield my time.
No, it was good. No, they're good questions. No, all right, that's it. Trustee reports, think you have anything?
No.
Dave?
Just a couple things. The one, that the Theater Preservation Group meets tomorrow afternoon, so I have something for next month. And then the painting is continuing. He might even be done at this point. And just on his own, we bounced it off a few people. I don't forget the painter's name, but he actually did some black paint trim on the front.
I
It
see.
really is other versus just plain white everywhere. And you have to look up to see it for most of it, but it's a really nice touch. And he just came up with that on his own and did a couple samples and sent them around to people to get some input
I
from.
think he's gonna do the front too.
Pardon?
I think he's gonna do the front by the
Okay.
judge.
I didn't even notice this,
Yeah.
and just phenomenal work.
Yeah,
So,
good. That's it?
So,
Thank you. Teresa, anything?
The summer program was successful once again. The swimming pool was open for 69 days. 280 children took swimming lessons. 180 children were involved in the arts and crafts program. We had 30 children in the basketball program and 16 in the tennis program. So we've serviced a lot of youth
That's
over
good.
the summer. It's very good.
That's nice. I like to see it getting use out of that park, or something, that's good.
Yeah.
just driving up and down, you always know when the pool is open in the spring because there's so much more traffic up and down
Yeah.
Townsend
Yeah.
Street, you know?
And that's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, number 7, the homecoming parade is going to be Walton on September 30th at 8:30 a.m. For those who like to know, we go support our,
Right, the route will be from the bus garage to the high school.
And what day is that?
September 30th at 8:30 a.m.
And we need a motion for that parade.
Yes, the motion for the okay to parade.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. And we're gonna go, also, we have our PBA contracts back, we've already voted on it. Just so I let the public know that we've settled our contract with the PBA. We gave them 2% a year for 2 years, and that's basically it. And I think everybody was okay with it, because we don't have the money, we can't do much more than that, so we can only do what we can do. And that's even, I think, below the cost of living, but they accepted it and we worked with them. And other than that, we're going to go into executive session to talk about personnel. So thank you, everybody, for coming.
Motion.